Hello, and welcome back to the Rewind Report. Today, I'm going to pull my phone out because this is going to be a fun one.
Oh, good. They're usually fun.
They are
what are we
usually
talking
fun.
about?
I know. I'm like, what's happening today?
But this one's going to be really fun because we're going to talk about something getting canceled.
Oh.
So, 2025, a huge thing that happened was filler, dermal filler, HA filler, was canceled on Instagram. It's become a villain in aesthetics, but the question is it really the bad guy?
No.
I also think after a couple conferences we went to and stuff, statistics showed that filler sales have like plummeted in comparison to the past like 5 years.
Yeah. It's
Not that we would know because we've only been in, open.
for a year, but still.
Yeah.
And I think a big problem with it is that now everyone has access to so much online and in socials. And so the people that talk the most about filler being bad, filler being the villain, filler fatigue, it's because there's bad filler on Instagram. We're seeing just bad filler. And the reason why you don't see good filler is because
You can't tell.
you can't tell because it's so good it should be undetectable.
Well, it's not bad filler. It's bad injections.
Yes, we're going to get to that.
Or
We're going to get
product
to that.
placement. Yeah.
We're going to get to all of that.
Yeah.
So I thought I would go through and I asked ChatGPT, who's also a major, new thing of 2025. We're going to go over how did filler get such a bad reputation?
Yeah.
So some of the big things that ChatGPT mentioned was that people have misconceptions of filler. So things like migration, things like pillow face, things like trend-based injections, like these big Russian duck lips or huge defined cheekbones or this like sharp, unrealistic jawline, stuff like that. And then another one is huge celebrity stories of poorly done aesthetic work and then also reversals of aesthetic work. There's been a lot of celebrities that have come out and said, I'm done with filler. So let's talk about it. What do you guys think? How do we debunk migration?
Well, I think migration, I think that comes from a certain, in your face, imagine a bunch of little compartments. So once that compartment is filled, it is physics where if the material that you're injecting goes to the path of least resistance, right? So it's going to go out and it's going to migrate. But it takes an ethical, knowledgeable injector to say, I think you have a lot there already. We either need to dissolve and start fresh once the tissue's healed. So you would dissolve, let it relax, let it heal, let it go back to its regular size. Or just say, that's not a good idea if they don't want to reverse and regenerate. So I think that that's a thing.
Yeah, each compartment, what she's talking about are your fat pads. There's superficial fat pads and then there's deep fat pads.
Yeah.
And it's been written out in medical textbooks of the capacity of each fat pad. So
Yes.
naturally as we age, we lose that fat and filler can come in and replace the volume that was lost, but it shouldn't be used to reinvent the structure of your fat pad.
Yes.
You can't use dermal filler to like build a new cheek or create a huge cheekbone. That's when we start to look crazy and unnatural because
when you
it
get
is a gel
celebrities.
and
Yeah.
it will move and it will swell and it will attract water. So filler's not the villain, like she said, but an uneducated or unethical or whatever, however you want to say it, a bad injector can make it the villain.
Yes.
I think the lips are also a good example of what you're saying. Like some people come in, they want their lips to be really big, and the lips are only so big. So if you put too much filler in the lip, it has nowhere else to go. It has to migrate. And so that's why the best thing to do would be inject in small amounts and then have them back, 2 weeks later, 2 months later, whatever. And you can slowly inject over time, but putting too much all at once can contribute to migration. The other thing that I think contributes to migration as well, even if you're not doing too much, is putting it in the wrong plane.
Yeah.
There's different layers of the face, different depths, and filler can go in a lot of the different planes, but there's certain planes that are more likely to migrate than others. There's also filler brands or certain versions of filler brands that are more likely to migrate than others too. So choosing your placement, your amount, and your product is the way that you can be mindful and have patients walking around where people don't know they've had filler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to speak in layman's terms when I say imagine a face with
No, I
different
think you
little
did
That was
great.
great. No,
Yeah,
that's
I
really
think you're
helpful.
I mean, I didn't want to get scientific.
that's a great
just
way to
think
explain.
that
Yeah.
you need to go to a knowledgeable person that can pick, like Courtney said, the right product, the right plane, and the right amount.
Yeah, I do want to say, and maybe it's only my opinion, about lips. Lips, I think if you have small lips to begin with, no matter if you start with half a syringe, the lip compartment is so tiny, and if you get anywhere near the border of the lip, at some point or another, you will have some amount of migration. It's nearly impossible to prevent, even with the best injector. Over time, I think the lips are just a very mobile area, and you will get a little bit of migration, and it's not the end of the world. Most people can't tell, but I think that that's just something that happens, and if you're somebody that can't, accept that or doesn't want any of that, then you should just not get your lips done.
Yeah.
And when I say migration too, I think people have a misconception of filler migration. They've done studies on this as well using ultrasound technologies, and clients have come in and said, like, I had filler up here and I think it's down here.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
No, that's not going to happen. Yeah.
Filler migration, we're talking like millimeters. We're talking it, went millimeters away from where it was placed, or it was placed in, like Courtney said, in the wrong plane. It got in a muscle, millimeters into the muscle or millimeters to the surface, and now it's visibly an error that we can see.
Yeah.
So I think that's another misconception on just the term migration.
And I really do think that there is something to be said for dissolving, letting it heal, and then at some point starting over, or maybe even using a more natural regenerative product like Sculptra or Radius, and then you can go that route. But I do think that, yes, it can't go. We've had several people say, oh, I was injected in my temple and now I'm seeing it down here. That's not going to happen because it's not cement. Filler is not cement. It's not going to slide in one block down to the bottom of your jawline. It's a gel. It's like skincare underneath the surface. So it's going to move a little bit, but if you continue to inject and inject and inject on top of that, then you're going to definitely have pillow face.
And that was my next one that ChatGPT brought up. So overfilled faces, or this term that came out called pillow face.
Oh, there you go.
So how do we debunk pillow face?
I mean, I think simply with what you said earlier, if you can tell that someone's had filler, that's not a good sign. There are plenty of people walking around that have filler and you have no idea.
Tons of people.
Many celebrities that you see on TV shows, like I watch shows with my boyfriend, I'm always like, oh, I think she's had this, and he's like, there's no way, like not all celebrities get work done. And I'm like,
yes, they do.
You would be surprised. Like
Yes.
Small amounts can be very tasteful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just has a bad name, and I don't know. I think if we do tasteful amounts in the nice, best areas, it can look amazing.
Yeah, I think pillow face can be debunked, or let's say avoided, by just an injector saying no when you need to say no.
Yeah,
There are a lot of people, unfortunately, and maybe we just see it because we're in a bigger city in Los Angeles where there's a lot more people, and there's, I think, a high standard of beauty and what one should look like. We have celebrity, I don't know where I'm going with that, but there is some psychologic stuff that we have to break down with clients, and there's body dysmorphia, and I think a good injector knows when to say no. You should not be getting filler every 6 months. I always tell my clients, if we're going to do filler, we're going to do filler after, like she said, we've done some biostimulators, we've done some neurotoxin, we've treated the skin, we've done microneedling. So filler should not correct laxity, filler should correct volume loss. Once laxity of your skin and whatnot has been corrected, then we can go in and put little cherries on our sundae with some filler, and you should really limit the amount of times you get filler, because coming to a next point, it can last much longer than
promise
a year. Yeah. So saying no to people, being mindful of how much you put in, and placement.
Yeah, placement is a big deal, and how much you put in is a big deal.
So last one, the social media filters versus real life, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the celebrity stories and the fear headlines and whatnot. So social media, I think a lot of the times you see before and afters, and whether they're edited or not, there's some myth, or what do you say? Some people that say that other people edit their before and afters that make it look unrealistic. And there's a lot of celebrity work that definitely is edited. You see celebrity photos after work's been done or not done, and maybe it looks fantastic, or vice versa, it looks bad. But
well, this is the age of filters.
yeah, the point is social media is not honest.
It's not true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's just a point to be made with filler,
Yeah.
that no one's gonna put true.
What they look like
Yeah.
on
That's a
social
celebrity.
I
media.
also find it highly unlikely that someone's going to go online without being paid and say, look at all this really natural filler I got. And no one would have been able to tell they had filler otherwise.
No
You know
one's
what I
gonna.
mean?
I've not seen anybody.
Most clients that come into a med spa don't come into a med spa to be posted on Instagram. They come into a med spa to look good,
Feel good.
feel
To
good.
have something done where their friends are like, you look good, but I don't know what you did. They're
Yeah,
not going
no.
to go on Instagram and be like, look at this natural filler that I got.
Yeah, nobody wants to, and a lot of people don't even want to say that they get a lot of work done,
Yeah.
or work done
No.
in general. That's what I meant. Like, in fact, as an injector, sometimes it's hard to share your work. It's not like we're hairstylists and we can take, a great coloring and we did some bangs, and people don't, people let you post that stuff all the time. I think this field's really hard to show off.
It's
some of
more
your
private.
some of my best work where I'm like, oh my God, you look so good. They're like, thank you. And then
They don't want
that's
you
it.
to post it.
Which
yeah.
is,
And
totally
that's fine.
understandable.
It's just
Yeah.
more personal and more private, and I think a lot of people are afraid of getting shamed too by their friends, because I've had people tell me, oh, my best friend told me not to do this, and my husband would freak out if I did this, and blah blah blah. So that's why we say the undetectable injectable.
Yeah, and I think people are afraid too to even admit that they've had filler, because it's got this huge stereotype attached to it of being
Stigma,
fake,
yeah.
and it doesn't have to be that way.
No.
So I think we've covered a couple things. I'm just going to sum them up. I think it's the right injector, the right product,
Yeah.
the right plane,
Yep.
being able to say no,
The right amount.
Good assessment.
a good assessment, and having just a plan and a relationship with your injector, and knowing an outcome that you want.
Yeah.
Because we're not trying to say filler is for everybody. The need for filler should depend on the assessment.
Yep.
Yeah, but I am here to say filler is not the villain.
No, it's not the villain, and there's a time and a place.
And if you have questions or you want to see if you're a good candidate, you can reach out to us and let us know. Even if you don't live here, you can send us pictures. We can FaceTime.
And I
Okay.
think that's a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap. Thank you. We'll see you again next week.
Yes, bye guys.